Oh god, I gotta do this now. I always hate doing these sections of the critique because I try to find the right balance between summarizing what happened in the show so I can refer back to it later if I need to, and trying to add my opinions in, and you gotta figure out what's worthy to note now and what should I say for later and what's just not even worth mentioning. Ugh. It can be a large hassle. So on that upbeat note, let's start talking about O2's plot. Okay, so the story opens up on a very short recap of the last season, and also a kind of dark scene. We see Digimon fleeing in terror from these flying dark rings, and we see them try to attack Gatomon. I mean, this is a huge tonal shift from the start of the first season, which just had kids at summer camp. It was kind of upbeat. Well, it may not have been like super upbeat, but at least it wasn't showing mass Digimon enslavement. Now, I kind of like this intro because it does something that I think Adventure and a couple other seasons waited too long to do, and that's establish a villain. And not only that, they establish a villain with a clear mystery. I mean, if you were going into this season blind after just getting through Adventure, you'd probably be asking, okay, who is this kid? Why is he evil? What is that tower in the background? What are these rings? Why are they turning the Digimon evil? These are all legitimate questions surrounding our new villain that we want to see answered. That's something I will say about this season. It does handle mystique around certain villainous characters very well. Anyway, besides establishment, the only other thing of importance that happens in this scene is that we see Gatomon lose her tail ring, which I think without it, she's reduced to like rookie level strength or something. I don't know, it kind of has minuscule importance of the overall season, but now let's meet our kids. We have reoccurring kids, Kari and TK, only a couple years older, and we have 3 new kids. We have Yoli, Cody, and our new team leader, Davis. A lot of people have a lot to say about Davis. Some of it good, a lot of it bad. We'll get to him later. Just like we'll get to you, and all of you. No. We also get to catch up on a couple other old members of the cast, such as Ty and Izzy. Ty has actually found a way to get into the digital world after Genai said in the past season that the port to the digital world and the human world was closed permanently. But now they're open and Ty got into the digital world off screen. Anyway, he sees that all the Digimon partners are in trouble and he sends a message to the computer room at the school that all the kids attend. Yoli, who's kind of a huge computer nerd, finds it and gives it to Kari, who's hanging around with TK and being stalked by Davis. So those two hear about the message also, and they go to the computer room where they meet Izzy. Now this scene in the computer room is to me the first huge example of how O2 either can't or doesn't want to follow the continuity of Adventure. Yoli reveals that she doesn't know what the digital world is. In fact, we see that basically nobody knows what Digimon are or what the digital world is outside of our original 8 kids. Now, this is a huge continuity problem because that would mean that everybody in the whole world forgot about this, and this, and this, and that, and this, and that too. Also this. Now obviously, I find that very hard to believe when put in a real world setting, or any world setting, that this whole massive invasion of a city, the sky being torn apart, creatures from another world flying and almost hitting planes, and then this viewing of this climactic battle for the fate of 2 worlds in the sky. You can't just brush that off in the show and pretend like that was never revealed. Myotismon's invasion is referenced. In fact, spoilers, it's kind of a big deal. But I kind of know what this show's trying to do. It's trying to reinvent the adventure without the constraints of the rules set up in the previous season. Because it is kind of hard to have a Digimon season where Digimon have kind of become an established, well-known thing. Because half the fun of Digimon is keeping it a secret from those adults and the government and your teachers and the rest of the general population. But that is a problem with making a season that is directly tied to a previous season that has established Digimon as being seen and recognized by the general population. Also, when I was a kid, and still now, I found it a bit ridiculous that nobody seemed to recognize these kids, the previous 8 kids, for their work in the previous season. I mean, Yoli, when she sees Izzy, gets all excited because, he was the captain of the computer team. But when I first saw this, when I was, 7 or so, I was expecting her to go, "Oh, you're Izzy! You're one of those 8 kids that saved our world from plunging into darkness and helped us discover a whole new dimension. Hey, in fact, I helped you guys one time. See, there's me, helping you fight Diaboromon." Look, this scene to me is very important because it helps build my case that this season is actually a lot more restricted by being associated with the first. I'll get more into that later, but I think we should try to get past the first 5 minutes of the first episode and start talking about the whole plot as a whole now. Let's go. I gotta stop stalling here. Okay, so Izzy tells Kari and TK and I guess Yoli and Davis that the gates of the digital worlds are now open, or at least temporarily open, and that they can go and save Tai. But before they can go, Tai finds this magic rock in the ground that, has his crest of courage on it. He tries to pick it up, but he can't, but when he does, 3 glowing lights shoot out of it that just go up into the sky, and then it turns out they actually travel through the port and go to Yoli, Davis, and Cody. And the lights turn into newfangled Digivices, signaling that they are now Digidestined. Not only that, but they also learn that Digidestined can now travel to and from the digital world as long as they have their Digivice. I don't know, I have my pros and cons with this idea that I'll probably talk about later because I just kind of want to get through this now. I've gone off too many tracks. There are no more tracks to go off of. We gotta stay focused on this. Okay, so Kari, TK, and Davis go into the digital world to go find Tai. They find Tai and Gatomon. Gatomon pretty much explains what's going on. She explains who this is. He is the Digimon Emperor. He is the self-proclaimed ruler of the digital world, and he is using these dark ring things to basically, they're mind control devices. They attach around a Digimon, and they then become evil and subservient to him. Now, I'm a little bit fuzzy on this, but I'm pretty sure the dark rings are powered by these things called control spires, which the Digimon Emperor just erects in places that he's conquered. The control spires also appear to stop Digimon from digivolving, which is why Agumon here just can't digivolve into War Greymon and have this be done in 2 episodes. But the matter at hand for these characters is this rock. Now, Tai can't touch it, or he can't at least lift it, neither can Kari and neither can TK. But Davis manages to do it, and when he does, he gets Digimon out of the deal. This is Vmon, Davis's new Digimon partner. Vmon is an energetic little guy who is a Digimon of prophecy who has been in a deep sleep waiting for the day that his destined partner would come and lift the rock, or as it's now known as the egg. Apparently there are multiple eggs around the digital world, hidden, with different crests and insignias on it, and when lifted, that Digimon partner gets a new special evolution. Now this evolution isn't a Digi-evolution, it's something called an armored evolution, which from what I've read and heard, it's somewhere in between a champion and a rookie evolution in terms of power. And because it's not a Digi-evolution, it is not affected by the control spires. Which means Veemon here can now armor Digivolve to a new form to become stronger. In this case, the armor Digivolves to Flamedramon. Anyway, they fight this guy and they learn that if they destroy the dark rings that the Digimon go back to being normal. Basically, the dark rings are exactly the same as the dark gears. So we're not going to focus too much on that. In fact, we're just going to start skipping around a little bit because I'm pissed off at the fact that I've been going on for 10 minutes and I haven't got past the first episode. Anyway, after Davis, Ty, Kari, and TK manage to save the day, they all come home through this TV screen or computer screen, which acts as a port or a way to travel in between the two worlds. Also, I can't help but notice that I think the whole time difference between the human world and digital world has kind of been forgotten because although Davis and the others seem to have only been gone for like 20 minutes, time seems to have passed considerably while they were gone. So there's that. Anyway, next episode, Cody and Yoli go to the digital world and get their partners and their armored evolutions, or at least their first ones. Cody gets a Digimon named Armadillomon, and Yoli gets a Digimon named Hawkmon. Kari and TK get their own armored evolutions. Also, this new team here has decided to take their Digimon back with them to the human world to keep them safe from the Digimon Emperor while they do school and soccer and stuff. And it's around at this point that I see a lot of people complain that the show can get kind of repetitive because a lot of the episodes start to go into this rut where it's like the Digimon Emperor sets up a control spire, so the kids have to go in and shut it down. They usually bring like one of the older kids from the previous season along to give some advice. And eventually they fight an evil monster, they destroy the control spire, which frees everybody in the region from the Digimon Emperor's grasp, and rinse and repeat for a while.